Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV. We are back with great gusto. Are we not, Master Kelly?
How about that? I think we are.
I know. I want to apologize for not being here last week. I kind of did a body slam with my hip into the drawer, and the drawer didn't move, and neither did I. But anyway, I'm Barbara Marville-Kelly, and with me is my husband, Dennis Kelly. And I know you had a chance to watch Women Unscripted last week because we re-aired it. It was such a great show with the girls. So today, we're just going to have an open mic session, just talking about what's been going on in our lives, and certainly hope that we can share some motivation and inspiration. Talk about exercise, talking about an attitude of gratitude, and a number of different things that are very near and dear to our hearts because, well, I was just saying before we started here, it's been exactly 1 year and a few days since all the craziness around the world has happened with COVID and the shutdown and the this and the that. Right, hon?
Absolutely right.
And we're surviving.
You got that right.
No matter what, we never give up. So we do a segment called What's Your Story? And we're bringing it back once again and bringing in some special guests. But today we are own special guests.
That's right.
So
very special.
That's right. If I was to say to you, what's your story today, what would you say? You weren't expecting me to ask you that either.
That's true. What would be my story? Well, what would be my story is I'm glad to be here. You cleaned my cage today, so you let me out. And I have just a wonderful group of people that I associate with, my dogs, my wife, I almost said my cat. George is dead.
Aw, he's in heaven. He's at Rainbow's Bridge.
The little cats, that's right.
Yeah. Well, that's really nice to start the show off with that. And my story is pretty much the same thing. I'm just very blessed and happy, healthy. I like to believe that I'm healthy and will continue to be healthy. My husband and I do a lot of different things to stay healthy, and we're going to be talking more about that. We wanted to kind of give you a little sort of an idea on how we're going through the rest of the year, and we take one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, but we do have our eyes on the present and our hands on the present, but we eventually move those into the future too, because sometimes we just never know what's going on with the future. But we are so fortunate and grateful to be here in Florida because so many things are opening up. Yes, we are getting out there, and we're following the rules and the guidelines like we're supposed to. We don't go out all that much, but it's not that different than how we were living our lifestyle before, because we really are pretty much homebodies with our doggies and our family and things like that.
Yeah, it's a choice we made. You know, we could have gone the other way and still work real hard and try to build a bigger fortune, but sometimes you overlook a lot of things when you try to go for that buck and you don't appreciate the rest of the world around you.
You know, that there's a lot to be said for that. And you know, when we rang in the new year, I forget who I heard say that, but one of my favorite words and actions is introspection, is going from within. And we've always done that, and I never realized that we could even take it to a deeper level.
Yeah, so many people major minor things. Little things that don't have any significance become their mantra, so to speak.
Absolutely. So I love that. And we talk about the attitude of gratitude. We didn't coin that phrase, but there's a lot to be said for that. There's so many people that are having a lot of challenges out there. We've had ours as well, but we work through them. You know, using our skill sets as life coaches, it really came in handy this last year, hasn't it?
Sure has.
Yeah. So what have you learned in this last year of COVID?
Well, I learned if I do the same things and then add a few new things to it, it keeps life interesting, and I get better at those few things that I do a lot.
You know, you're so right. In fact, I was having a crazy day yesterday with my back again. I don't know. It just decided to say, hello, I'm still here. You better rest today. So I did all day yesterday. It was Sunday. I had plans to do some things around the home, but it was good for me to relax, and we watched a great movie yesterday. But one thing I noticed that you had your shorts on and your red, white, and blue top, and I was sitting across from you, and I noticed your legs are getting so muscular, and even around your knees and the kneecaps. What do you think that's from?
It's for the rebounder. It's a mini trampoline, one of the best exercises in the world to build muscle in the legs and the lower part of the body and in the arms, and also focus and concentration.
Big time. Big time focus and concentration. And you know what? When you have focus and concentration, that too helps take you to another level of just different activities in your life, how to move forward, how to step back from different situations. It really gives you that time to, like, pay attention more so. I mean, we're so busy going here, running there, doing this, doing that, right?
Right, but we keep moving.
But keep moving. Do you know that you work out way more than I do? And I'm working on that.
I'm working on that too.
I know you are. And we started a new dance routine, which I'm so excited about. My husband is teaching me the bolero. That is one dance that he has not taught me yet. So we started that this week, and we're actually setting up time for doing that. That's one form of exercise that I absolutely love and adore. And I don't mind doing that kind of exercise because I know from Dancing with the Local Stars how it really helped to build my muscles in my arms and in my back. So find something that you enjoy doing when it comes to exercising. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I know that it's something that has to be done. I don't like getting hot and sweaty and all of that, and I use that as a big old excuse. But we have not been to the gym since last year because we turned our villa into kind of like a little mini gym,
right.
And it's working. We have the mini trampoline, right? And that is, let's talk about that for a minute, because I said this was going to be open mic. So the open mic part is what? What are the benefits from the mini trampoline? Because this is underestimated. It's not just a bounce up and down thing for kids.
No, you can do little dances on there as you bounce and so on. But the key thing is you reach on the upswing of the trampoline, or what we call it, you have zero gravity, so you're coming, every time you jump on that trampoline, on the rebounder, every time you go up and down, you're causing all the cells to get rid of excessive blockage of what they call blood protein blockage. It's when we are stressed out and our blood protein, which gives the blood viscosity, starts seeping through the capillaries. And the sad part of it is that people don't even realize what they're getting out of it by doing this type of exercise. You're getting a whole lot. A lot of things you don't get from the regular normal exercises. I should say this gives you things that you normally don't get from the normal type of exercise that most everybody does. And it's fun. I put on that Latin music and just go to town. I could do it for many, many minutes.
Well, you do it for 45, don't you?
No, I do it about an hour now.
Yeah?
Every day.
And you worked yourself into it, right?
Yeah, and it causes what we call a dry cell. When a cell has a wet cell, it means that blood protein seeps through the capillaries, doesn't get back through because the capillaries aren't porous enough. So as a result, the cells start suffering from not getting rid of our, how would I say it, our waste that the cells accumulate, like dead cells end up suffocating the live cells. So when you do the rebounder and drink a lot of water before and after, you're cleansing the cells, you're building muscle, you're having fun, and it's a whole new life of exercise for a lot of people. But
and
one last
go
thing
ahead
before I forget. Don't get a cheap model.
No.
Don't get a cheap model routine on the rebounder, because of the fact is they won't last long.
No, they really won't.
And they're dangerous.
In fact, I will recommend getting the one that we have, which is the Urban Rebounder. You can even find that on Facebook, and I think it's like $100, $120 or something like that. Our first Urban Rebounder was gifted to me as a show host on HSN. That thing lasted like 15 years. It really lasted a long time. You want to make sure that you have the right weight for it.
Yeah, the Urban is one of the best rebounders on the market, and it lasts a long time.
It does. Something else I was going to say is, does it not flush the toxins out of the system?
Well, that's what I was saying, and not quite in those words, but what it does, it gets all the toxins get into the lymphatic system, and get washed out through elimination, perspiration, and activity, like exercise. A lot of people don't realize that 35 years of age, if you don't exercise for the rest of your life, at 35, you lose 12 pounds a year. All right? You lose, I'm sorry, I had a senior moment there. When you do the rebounder, I'm sorry, at 12, you lose 12 of your physical capabilities. That's what I wanted to get out. 12 of your physical capabilities, and over a period, by the time you get 65, you've lost 50% of your physical capabilities. 50%. You lose 12% a year.
At what age?
What's that?
At what age?
At 65. So from 35 to 65, if you don't exercise at all, you lose 12% a year of your physical capabilities, and it goes with the mental too.
Yeah.
However, if you exercise 3 times a week at least, and at least 20 to 30 minutes, then you lose only 0.5%. So by the time you turn 65, you've only lost 12.5% of your capabilities.
Wow.
And if you really exercise properly, you can actually have better results than most younger people that don't exercise.
Wow. You know, the average person, I didn't know that. He gives me these stats every now and again, and it reminds me. Because, I mean, exercise, when you can make it fun, that's inviting to me. But when it's drudgery, which sometimes it is, especially if you have an injury or something like that, but you work through it even with your bum shoulder.
Yeah, because it actually helps that too.
Yeah.
And you'd think I was selling these, by the way I talked about them, but we're not.
No.
It's not a commercial.
No, not at all.
And I'm telling you, if you stay regular with that trampoline, we call it rebounder. Sometimes I call it trampoline because that way some people wouldn't know what I was saying if I said rebounder.
That's right. That's right. I also, excuse me, I also wanted to take a moment to wish all women globally around the world happy International Women's Day. And I want to say that in the beginning part of the show here because it's great to celebrate women and what we've accomplished over many, many years.
You sure have.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And it takes really a lot of good respect from a partner that recognizes that, which you do. We were talking about that on the way over here.
Yeah, and one more thing I'd like to say about the rebounder. It really has helped with my Parkinson's disease. And if you notice, I got stuck there, had a little Parkinson freeze. But that it doesn't happen maybe once or twice a week. And I contribute a lot of it, of course, to my environment, but to the rebounder because it helps get rid of these toxins in the body.
That's right. That's good. It's good for all of us. You know, if you can just find something that really makes you happy when it comes to exercising, even walking. I know that you being a certified trainer and sport nutritionist and all, you educated me on running in the neighborhood on the sidewalk. Not good.
No.
Why is that?
Well, because a lot of the sidewalks aren't even. The trees too close to the sidewalk in some of the communities. And I had an experience with that. It wasn't a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
It tripped on a rise. I tripped on a rise of one sidewalk piece of sidewalk as to the other. They weren't even.
No, it was, and I'll tell you, with some of the repairs that they've done in there, I know that you aren't the only one. So I think we're safer on a rebounder at home. But anyway, I also wanted...
one last thing. Excuse me, dear.
I'm just going to be quiet.
Make sure you order one with the handle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
Because especially if you have Parkinson's disease, you're going to have some help. If you don't have one with handles, it's like a bar, and it keeps you from...
Well, keeps you stable. Keeps you stable.
Yeah, you can have more fun on it with the bar. Mm-hmm. Then eventually, if you can do it, you can do it without the bar.
And you don't, and it doesn't matter what is going on in your health and wellness, because even though you may not have Parkinson's or anything else, it's good to be stable, especially if you're not used to it. And you know what? Start out with 5 minutes, right? And then 10 minutes, then 15 minutes.
That's exactly
Because,
what I
you know,
did.
I'm thinking of things that, you know, we don't watch the news as much as we used to. But I got to tell you, it's really disturbing when we hear about people and what's going on with the mental state and how they're doing, how they're not doing. That's why we bring up some of these things that we're doing that help us at home, and we want to share that with you. Because there's a lot of people that are really going down the bunny hole. And not to mention the kids that aren't back to school yet.
Yeah, they start majoring in minor things because there's nothing they can do about it in most cases except vote.
Yeah.
Or tell your friends if you wish to get into it.
Oh, you have a picture of one? Oh, there you go.
Oh, very good.
Is that the Urban Rebounder?
That's it.
Oh, that's exactly like ours. And I sold those on HSN, and our viewers may think that we're actually selling these or making money, but we're not. We just want to get the best of the best information to you. So that is the one thing. Now, what else are you doing? I know what you're doing, but I want you to tell everybody else out there, because you're doing some weightlifting, which you did at the gym.
Strength and exercise. Yeah.
Strength and exercise. So let's talk about what you do. Like this is on a daily basis, mind you. 6 to 7 days a week, unless something's happening where we don't get a chance, and then you'll figure something out.
Well, I keep running in my house. I have a little track, a make-believe track, and I run. After I do the weights, I run, and then I still do a lot of the little things like stretching and things like that, and working on my attitude too, like saying in my mind that I'm thankful that I can do these things. Appreciation and gratitude helps the body build muscle because you're less stressful. Stress deteriorates the body. And when you have a good attitude and you really feel good about yourself, that you're doing something, it tends to repair the body. The mind controls every muscle in the whole body, including the brain. And the brain, actually through a series of neuropeptides, which are molecular messengers, it sends information to all the cells, the soldier cells, to destroy the enemy, the viruses and so on. And these soldier cells circulate through your lymphatic system. And that's why all disease has a psychosomatic component to it. That's why it's so very important to, when you exercise, have the right attitude. Because the brain will just say, I'm not going to send those soldier cells to the cells to fight, because if he doesn't care or she doesn't care, then I've wasted my time. So when you do these things, then your body fights the disease, especially now with the virus that's going around. And it's just pathetic the way it really scares people into doing things that they don't need to do just out of fear.
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned that too, and we don't live under fear. I have my favorite acronym, and I did not coin this acronym, but false evidence appearing real. We do our own homework about educating ourselves. We do our own research. As many of you know, if you've ever tuned into our shows before, we are taking supplements that help support our immune system, and we'll be doing another show on that. We just look into all kinds of different research, because there's a lot of different products out there that we can help ourselves support. Not only, and we don't make any claims or anything like that, but we've noticed it's actually been about a year since we've been on our Kyani products.
Yeah, and I feel it in a good way.
Oh yeah. We both really feel it.
You combine that with some other things, and it's unbelievable how much difference. In fact, in some of the cases, within 15 minutes, you can show some increase in strength by just 30 drops of this.
Of the nitric oxide.
Of the nitric oxide. A lot of people know about nitric oxide. There's nitric oxide you can buy in a health food store, but that is chemically induced and is not really any good. However, your body produces natural, like a secretagogue of the nitric oxide, and they can keep that alive, working for the body for 4 hours. Normally, nitric oxide is a short-lived gas. They call it nature's best anti-aging gas, and it's produced throughout the body. And tell you how important it is that
Yes.
there's another freeze there. I was trying to get my thoughts. The thing is, if you could live without oxygen for about 5 to 7 minutes. That's what I was trying to bring up, that time element. 5 to 7 minutes. However, without nitric oxide, you could only live 5 seconds. You'd die without that.
Now that's scary.
Yeah, and so nitric oxide helps all the internal organs get the oxygen, get the right nourishment, and it really makes a big difference over a period of time. In fact, it can increase your strength and your endurance and your speed and everything else. It can increase that within 10 to 15 to 20%, sometimes as much as 30%, within 15 minutes.
Yeah, that it's one of our hero products. There's 3 of them that we take religiously, morning through day into the evening, and I know you felt difference within the first week. This time last year. I felt it by the second week, and again, we don't ever make any claims to cure a diagnosed disease or anything like that. We just try to share this with you to let you know that we're doing, and it's working for us. And maybe it could work for you as well. If you want to go to livesrebuilt.com, you can see a little bit more information on that. I just wanted to give a little personal testimonial on what we're doing behind the scenes. Like I say, this is just kind of open mic conversation. It's kind of fun to do that. And we may just bounce around here, but we try to give you some information that will be inspirational or motivational or both. So, what else are we doing behind the scenes?
One last thing, I like to coin it as the holy grail of anti-aging.
You know, you're right, Chris Sewell and Robbie love it when you say that. Slow down the aging process. You know, sometimes I wonder if we felt like we've aged more this last year because of the restrictions and this and that. But you know what? I feel better.
Well, because you keep your attitude there. You don't major in minor things.
No,
You've got 5 minutes to get rid of an angry thought. One angry thought felt for 5 minutes or more can lower your immune system, your IgA level, which is your first line of defense, from 6 to 8 hours. Just one angry thought held for 5 minutes. So you've got 2 minutes to bring and replace it with a caring, loving thought. And that takes a lot of practice. But once you can master that, then you become insurmountable as far as your strength, as far as your direction and your goals, and it definitely, in most cases, will help you live longer. And the key thing is live better, not just longer.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that, and thanks for reminding that, because when I was dating my husband in the beginning of our relationship many years ago, 24 years ago?
Yeah, we came over in the Mayflower.
That's not true. Anyway, but when we were going together, and you were my life coach at that time, and when I came into the Athletic Club of America, and you were using me as kind of like a test case while you wrote this book I just happen to have with me, The 6 Steps to the Fountain of Youth. And when you told me that 5 minutes, that's all, of an angry thought or unforgiveness or anything that is negative whatsoever, between how many hours?
6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours, it puts the bad chemicals. So how many 5 minutes of an angry thought are you doing these days? Or do you have that all under control? It happens. I mean, as good as we are as really managing our emotions, we have our moments.
Yeah, we do. There's a great book written by Anna Weiss, and in the book she talks about the brain a lot. And when people get these positive thoughts, it's like you have the type of brain that you can overcome any obstacle just by simply rehearsing these things in your mind. A high-performance mind is what she talks about. One that at will can reach that state of consciousness is most desirable and beneficial for any given moment. So basically you're carrying your emotions and being able to control them without ever going past 5 minutes. And that's Very hard to do, but it's worth it. Believe me, your life changes so dramatically. So that's my story.
Well, yeah, because I asked you that. What's your story?
Right.
And that's a good story, and it's educational, and it's actually been proven, the science behind it.
Oh, I would never go talking about things that weren't proven.
No, and if we could just think about that before we speak and before we lash out at others, because I know that there's many people, and even I've had moments where my fuse is like really thin, and I really have to reach there to calm. And I'll tell you who's helped me with that too is my grandson, JD. Teaching him how to manage his emotions. He's 7 years old, and most kids at that age, they have the attention span of a gnat, and they're just so full of life, so full of freedom. And, when they have to be disciplined and reprimanded and they can't get their own way, well, I used to be like that when I was a little girl. My mom said I pulled my hair out.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why I have all this hair today at 72 and a half.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I don't see that girl anymore.
I know, it's a good thing I don't pull my hair out anymore, right?
Yeah, you look better the way you are.
With hair, right?
Right, with hair.
But, no, I really did learn a lot from my grandson because I did homeschool him for like 3.5 months. And it was the best 3.5 months ever. And I really feel that we bonded because, he was there from, 7 in the morning until 4:35, 5:30 in the evening, at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. And I always wanted to homeschool my children many, many years ago. And I didn't because back then we didn't have the software. And I certainly wasn't a teacher, a trained teacher, instructor, what have you. And so I sent them to the public schools, and at that time I was very happy where we lived and the particular public schools and the particular curriculum that they were teaching. I was okay with it, and they turned out pretty darn good, I must say. And so when I had the opportunity to homeschool JD, it was just such a blessing. And some of the different things that I incorporated with his regular tasks once I was able to get into the school system. But the girls on Women Unscripted always make fun of me because when, the challenges I had trying to sign on and all that technology.
Yeah.
And so I had a troubleshooting person that I could call, which I did. And he was trying to explain to me what to do. And he was very kind, very nice. And he says, "Is your grandson around?" I go, "Yeah." He says, "Can I talk to him?" I said, "Why do you want to talk to my grandson?" He said, "Well, because I think he'll understand what I'm trying to do." But JD wouldn't talk to him because he was a stranger, so that was good. But anyway, that was just one of those funny moments. But we made it through. And so some of the personal growth and development that I did with him based on Heart Math and the Heart Smart Kids and all of that has turned around and it's come back to us. And he's doing so well, and he just started a karate class, as you know, and you two are really bonding now.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to be a holy terror.
Oh, in a good way.
I'm going to teach him how to really
defend himself.
Absolutely. In this day and age, you can't be too careful.
No, but you also can't use it in the schools to show how tough you are either. You get in big trouble.
No,
get your belt taken away.
To use it.
No, that's for sure. So, I love talking about different things that has helped us because maybe it'll help you guys too. We don't know when all this is going to end. If, when, what, whatever. So we got to make the best of what we have, and that's what we're doing. We certainly are home a lot. Once in a while, we'll go out for dinner, and it's usually somewhere where it's outdoors. I love to go to the Tarpon Turtle. That's nice over there on the water.
Yeah, it is. The ambience is great.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go there later today. It's nice out. It's in the 70s here in Tarpon.
Yeah, you can handle that.
Yeah, I know, because you know how I love the heat when it's up in the 90s.
I don't want to be around her.
It's a wonder I don't start pulling my hair out again.
Yeah.
I feel like it. But we've had a pretty nice winter. I'm okay with it going in the 40s. I know you probably think I'm crazy, but I am. You know, when I see it on my phone, oh, hon, it's 46 degrees out. I love it.
Well, Barbara takes the cold easier than I take the cold. I take the heat easier than she takes the heat. So we have a compromise there.
Yeah,
Who gets to the thermometer first?
Exactly. So I have a note here, a sneak peek into 2021, which we're already in the month of March. We've got a lot planned for 2021, and we're actually going to be launching some children's classes and teaching our tiger kids Tai Chi and Qigong. And one of our instructors we're going to be working with, her name's Chrysula Gauze. You've seen Chrysula on the show many times. And we're going to be starting that probably in the fall, but maybe a few classes before that. And I know that makes your heart happy because you taught your tiger kids. That's why we're keeping with that. For a couple
years, I taught kids between 4 and 6 in Taekwondo.
4 and 6 in Taekwondo.
That was a real treat. I really enjoyed that. But I had to move on to different things because my life called for it. But I enjoyed those 2 years immensely working with those kids, how much discipline we was able to get out of them without being harsh.
Yeah.
And when they'd walk in, I was teaching from 4 to 6, they'd walk in and bow and say, "Good afternoon, Master Kelly." And they would say, we would hold hands and chant, "No to what do good kids do? No to drugs." And we would do things like that. And it's amazing, the parents would bring their children in. I told them, if they ever get bad grades, bring them in to see me. So it's amazing when they would bring in little Johnny, I would ask him why he's not reading and doing his homework or whatever, the bad grades. And I said, if you don't improve that now, I can't give you your next belt. And the mother or father would say, how can you get him to do these things? We couldn't even come close to it. It's amazing how the respect that they develop over a short period of time. If I had young children right now, they'd definitely be in the martial arts.
Mm-hmm. That's really a good suggestion. If you have kids or grandkids, it is one of the best things for discipline and self-motivation and development. Well, because they want to get that belt. That is an achievement for them.
Oh, absolutely. It really, see, it's good to be bad at school, but it's
not good to be bad. I know what you're meaning, though.
What I'm saying is...
It seems to be good when you're bad.
Right.
Cool.
But the key thing is when you come to the school, the karate school, it's cool to be good.
Very good.
When you go with your normal friends away from the karate school, until we work them into realizing there's a lot more to gain by being a good kid than a bad kid.
You know, and there is so much truth to that. And then you share that with others when you're around others. And everybody, they want to be good. When we stopped, we stopped at his school when we just found out that he was taking karate, and we stopped there and we were watching, and he had already taken about 3 or 4 classes. But what I got the biggest kick out of was when the little blonde gal was talking too much. What happened? She had to drop and do 20 push-ups right then and there. Yeah. Boy, did she have a struggling time. But they learn self-respect and they learn respect for others very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely, and most schools are good schools. There's only a few, they don't last long.
Yeah.
Where they come down too hard. Mm-hmm. Where the most important thing is winning rather than developing themselves.
Well, this school...
Like in the Karate Kid.
Exactly. They're taught values, the tenets of life, and different affirmations that really works well for them. And I'm glad that he's doing this now. It's exciting. I would have loved to have seen him do it sooner, but they did try it, but he was a little bit too young. He was, there's that point of readiness. He just wasn't quite ready, but he loves it now. When he comes over, and all we have to do is mention his Taekwondo class, and he'll break out into drills. Did you notice that? He's showing the kicks and all of that.
Remember when he wanted to see how loud a ki I could do?
Oh my gosh, the roof almost came off of the house.
I did it so loud, he scared the daylights. He ran into the next room.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, well, that's what we train kids to do to be able to yell real loud, and he didn't have any problem with that because of the fact it'll startle the person who's trying to kidnap them or whatever, and give the child a split couple seconds to get out.
And that's all it takes.
And run like heck.
Right. That's all it takes
Yeah.
to get out of there. Yeah, we were having fun with the key eyes and all kinds of that stuff. I know you're in your glory, and so is JD, because we have in our office, he actually named our office, excuse me, the trophy room, because there's a whole lot of trophies in there, and so he gets a real big kick out of that, especially now that he sees that he can earn achievements, and they call them the tape, where we called them stripes when I was doing my karate class. I only got as far as the yellow belt. I really want to go back and get my black belt.
Well, you remember we start back at it again, and then we for some reasons we had to quit for that time being, and now we're finally getting back into it. Of course, I've never gotten away from it.
No. And I'll just let you know how humble my husband is. I started as a white belt, and you came into the class as a white belt with me.
Yeah, because I didn't want to come in there and take some steam away from the instructor, so I just pretended I was a white belt.
It was fun
to do.
I know. Well, we're going to think about getting back into it. I don't know if you've watched the show before, but we did lose a lot of our Tai Chi Qigong classes, because my husband was teaching predominantly at some of the senior centers. So need I say any more about that? But actually tomorrow we're going to be going to a karate school that's been in business for a long time, and they had their challenges during the highs of the pandemic and all, but they're back open, up and running. They're gearing towards seniors, and we just may start right up there. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, there's more seniors now than ever. There's over daily about 100,000 people turn to seniors. And so there is quite a market for seniors, and they need this.
Well, when I think about the comments that we've had from our students at golf communities as well, they're still not back up and running, but mostly you were teaching at the senior centers. Some of the things, what's different about our classes is that you always teach why they're doing these moves, what it can enhance in their lives. For example, exercises so that if they're driving, so that they can turn their head further, so that they can see in the blind spots and things like that. Your balance, I think about it when the salt shaker falls out of the cupboard and I'm able to catch it.
Right, then you know.
Like
you're on
Miyamoto
your way.
Musashi in The Fly.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you share features and benefits that come from taking a Tai Chi Qigong class. So we're really looking forward to getting back in the neighborhood and doing more of that. I'm excited about the Tiger Kids. One
thing I wanted to mention, by the way, I'm really excited about that too. One thing I wanted to mention that the senior market is good, but they need to realize this isn't like karate. It's all slow and easy, slow movements. And the reason for that is the body really adjusts to that much better in the long run, for especially seniors. In fact, they say the word is that the Qigong and Tai Chi is the seniors' karate.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I tell all my friends that I competed with over the period of the years, I've been competing since 1976, I tell them, do some slow movements. Don't just do all hard kicks and things of that nature. And a lot of my friends that I used to compete against, they have blown out knees now. They have a lot of back problems because they didn't balance. So when you go kicking real hard, you need, and punching hard and competing hard, what you do, then when you do the soft style, the body repairs that damage a lot better, and you develop a better combination of kicks and punches. You're more coordinated. So you're a better driver when you drive the car. You're a better walker when you walk up the steps. In other words, you do everything physical just a little bit better, sometimes a lot better.
And if you're a dancer, you dance better as well.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is a proven fact.
Yes, absolutely. It's just good all the way around. And some of the testimonials that we've gotten over many years, because you've taught in 1, 2, 3, 4 golf communities, golf game gets better. Now, believe it or not, we're
Almost
not golfers.
Every one of them, it
Yeah.
has improved.
Yeah, if they're a golfer. So it's going to be exciting to see how things. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. We just really are grateful that we have the openness without abusing it or anything like that to be able to get out there. We're going to be doing some Tai Chi on the Bayou right over there in Tarpon Springs when we can, and it'll just be really nice to get out and get among people to where we can get back teaching them breathing, the proper breathing from the diaphragm, and helps give you more energy and things of that nature, because sometimes we don't really we don't prepare ourselves for the what if moment, where if you have to get up and get out of somewhere in a fast way, right, to protect yourself.
Right, and 30% of seniors fall, and of that, 1/3 never recover. The key thing is when you age, you don't want to get fragile. When you do the slow movements of Qigong and Tai Chi, the deep breathing, the movements, then what you're doing is you're fortifying the body, making it more flexible, that when you do fall, you won't get hurt as bad.
That's right.
And that's so important, because at some time or other, you're probably going to have a fall. And the key thing is to prevent the worst thing to happen, is falling wrong. So that's another thing they teach you in the martial arts, is how to fall.
That's right. That's right.
One of the first things they taught us. If you're going to fight in the ring in karate, you better learn how to fall.
That
and
is
boy,
for
isn't that
sure.
the truth.
I'm just thinking about how many times we've gone down or lost our balance. I mean, to see us on the dance floor, we're pretty good. But I'll tell you, we are so clumsy at home. But we both survived 2 very, very bad falls. When I torn meniscus on the dance floor, and then you had, you had the concussion. And what else? So there was a number of other things. The hematoma, 7 stitches in your hand on the uneven abutment on the sidewalk in our neighborhood, and you recovered from that. Now, I wonder why at 82. You're 82, your 83rd birthday's coming up this month, and it will be exactly a year in May when you took that tumble. But because we like to think we take pretty good care of ourselves, I'm not really making this sound like it wasn't all that bad. It was bad, and for both of us, but we did survive. It took a while, took some rehab for my knee, and Chrysula doing the microcirculation treatment on it hundreds and hundreds of times. And then with you, following the doctor's orders, not taking certain supplements that would, keep your brain from, clotting, because it needed to. Because we take supplements that are anticoagulant. You had to go off those for a little while. So when you're in tune to your body and you have the right people that you can consult with, it really does make a big difference.
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah.
Well, when the head hit cement, that's not good. And I fell on the sidewalk, hit my head on the sidewalk.
3 times. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, I got up but I had a concussion.
You couldn't. You
then
were dizzy.
I fell back down, hit the other side of the head. But if I wasn't in good shape, I wouldn't probably be here right now.
That was one of the scariest days, or evenings, I should say, of my life. I kid you not. I thought I was going to see my husband again. He just went for a walk in the neighborhood. And I'm looking at it, starting to get dusk. I called Jason, and he agreed. It's time to call the sheriff. They were going to have the
You probably thought I ran off.
Well, you're an athlete. You're not gone 2.5 hours. So I'll tell you, the sheriff was out within 5 minutes, I kid you not, and was ready to call what do they call them, the Eagles, to go looking for you. And so anyway, it all turned out pretty darn good. But there's so many reasons to take good care of ourselves. And I'm not saying, be a real nutcase about it, but do some research on how you can help yourselves. That's what we do, and we do the very best we can to take care of ourselves so that we can continue to live on. A lot of people are depending on us with a lot of our different programs that we're doing. I'll tell you what, we have just under 11 minutes or whatever, but we do have Howard Martin from HeartMath Institute. We're waiting to get him booked this spring, and I'm very, very excited about that. We're also going to have Mr. Brian Nelson, who's going to be joining us, who is the script writer for The Legend of Tango Man. He has his first series of his own books called Branch View, and you must look this up, because maybe we'll bring Brian in next week if he's available.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, because we talked to him last week, and he was telling me all the craziness going on with his books out there, and how they took them down, then they put them back up, and you'll hear that from Brian when he comes in maybe next week or the week after. We're going to just try to have a lot of different versatility on the show, and maybe some special editions. The girls will be back the last Monday, which I think is your birthday.
How about that?
83.
That, to me, I just can't. If I close my eyes, I swear I feel like I'm in my 20s, early 30s.
Well.
And that's what taking care of yourself does.
Mm-hmm.
It prepares you for the worst, and you hope for the best, but at least you got a fair chance when something physical happens that could injure your body.
That's right.
And if you do get sick, a virus or so, the main thing is keep the immune system high.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you have to do, antioxidants are so important. Because the people that died the easiest, or I should say the quickest, they had low immune systems.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that had the high immune system, they didn't have the same end results negatively. They were able to survive in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Oh.
But I just want to encourage people, take care of yourself. Life is too short to waste it.
Boy, that there's a lot of truth to that. And I've got to say that I've slowed down somewhat, and I think during this time that we have been home more than we have not, and it gives you a chance to go into that introspection, that word that I heard somebody somewhere say in the beginning of the year. And I looked it up because I want to know specifically, because I really like that word, because when you go from within, you'd be surprised when you do a little meditation and you just center. Things come to you when you pray and you take and make the time for it. Do I do that religiously? I'd like to think I do, but I would be telling a gollywoggle if I didn't take time every single day. Usually it's in the morning, even before you get up. I do my devotionals and do my prayers and all of that. Prayer for those that are in need out there. We've had several friends that have had the COVID. As far as I know, we haven't really lost anybody to COVID. We've lost people from other things. So we're always on our soapbox about taking the best care of ourselves as we possibly can, and try to keep that mindset up. And, start a hobby. I find that, and I've said this to you, when we're creative, doesn't that put the good hormones?
Oh,
the good juju in our system?
Serotonin and, and so many of the good hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get hormones that you don't get any longer, because you can think, if you think young and do the things that will help your body think it's growing again. It's important to know that you can do that through just practice.
That's right. And talking about the brain, we're also going to be having Dr. Harry Cachette, who's going to be coming on. We'll have Mary Louise Zeller back on as we go through spring and into summer, and figure out different ways that we can help you as it's helped us. So what do you think? champ?
I think is good as long as you're thinking good.
Because when your thinking is stinking, so are the results, right?
Zig Ziglar said that.
Was that Zig?
And he said when you point the finger at somebody, believe it or not, you got three fingers pointing back at yourself, trying to put the blame.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, old Zig, he was quite a motivator.
When I was in real estate way back then, when my first career in real estate, we had Zig Ziglar come out and do a rah training with us and really getting everybody jazzed up. And I remember him with a really good heart. He was a good guy.
Yeah, the method of training has changed a little bit since Zig left us. The key thing is developing the inside, being able to control the emotions and things like that, rather than just the rah-rah, which you need a little bit of that too.
Well, you know, when you think about it, when you're stuck home, literally sometimes we feel like we're stuck home, we have the choice to take that time. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. You spend so many hours sleeping, but what are we doing during the day? Of course, we're working. Because we're living longer, and we want to work. We don't consider what we do work because we're giving back and we're helping people. And I love doing that. That means a lot to me. So we're always looking for even additional ways of what we already know. And when we take that time to be quiet, things come to us.
Absolutely. The thing is, whatever you think about, you bring about. The law of that chapter, the law of deliberate creation, where you create things through thinking and being passionate about those things. Three most important words in English language are thoughts are things. So what you're thinking about, believe it or not, you bring about. So the key thing is to control your thoughts so that you control your feelings, so that you can control your results. And the results, if you go through that step by step, they're good. If you don't do that and just allow yourself to be somebody else's movie, so to speak, and let the people run your life, then the point is it usually is picking up their bad habits rather than their good habits, because there's a difference.
I'd rather make my own decisions rather than somebody else's decisions for me.
Yeah, they usually turn out a lot better. And the key thing, what I do, I didn't figure this out myself. Years ago, one of the motivation meetings I went to, I learned this. You be the director of your movie. Life is like a movie. And you are either a character in the movie and somebody else is your director, directing you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Or they're the director, I should say that when you do that, you bring about people being able to learn from you, being able to emulate what you do positively, because then you're using that directorship to control your body, mind, and emotions in a nice and positive way. Most people are controlled by somebody else's director or a character in somebody's movie. Key thing is let people be a character in your movie, and let them know that these things are for their own good, not just your good.
You know, so many people comment about that, the way you tell that story, because you've been living your movie.
Yeah, I've been the last 20 years, 25 years actually, I've been preparing for this movie. My life has been a movie. And it turned out, even though there were some places in there that I'd rather do without, it turned out to be a wonderful experience, and I'm still doing it. I'm still working on getting that movie made. If I never get it made, the key thing is the benefits I got from really creating the picture of my life I want it to be. I didn't know I was going to get Parkinson's, but did I let that stop me? No, it was like, God, why me? Then I thought, God, why not me? I'm a warrior. I do seminars. Wouldn't that be wonderful if I could really beat this thing? Because it's really not a death sentence. If I could beat this thing, think of the people that I would be able to encourage to take care of themselves. And as a result, it's actually been very good to me, because I've been able to help people that I normally wouldn't have been able to help. They see me do that, especially, 5 years ago, I came out of retirement and competed just to prove people with Parkinson's don't have to sit down and worry about or think and be upset about the fact that they're not the same person that they were. Well, you may not be the same person you was, but you could be, in some ways, a better person. You got more time, or you have better prepared time.
You know, I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because, like I say, our shows are always unscripted, but I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's a really good motivator for people that may have some health challenges and all, because you came out winning like the winner that you always have been, and took your 6th world championship at age 78. And I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for his bum shoulder, he'd be at the U.S. Open this July if they're back in the ring.
If we can get that shoulder repaired properly, I will be fighting again.
Oh my goodness, somebody help me here. On that note, that's a perfect close for the show. We'll have to continue this later, but we want to thank you for
give me a talking to.
we want to thank you for joining us here today, and next week we'll have another surprise for you, and moving forward with all the other shows that we're doing in 2021. Hopefully you are enjoying them. If you ever have any questions, you can always get a hold of us, and we're on Facebook under Dennis Kelly and Barbara Marville-Kelly. And, of course, you can go to either one of our websites to just, peruse and see what we're doing there. We will be doing some updating and reconstructing on both of them. And go to dennis-kelly.com or barbaramarville.com. And I want to thank you again, and God bless everybody. And we're going to continue on this discussion of you competing again. We'll let you know the results. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.